विष्णुं whether it is to gain Tattvajnana, Atmajnana, Brahmajnana, or to gain Jivan Mukti, simultaneous practice of Tattvajnana, Manonasha, Vasnakshaya is required. To gain Tattvajnana, what practice of Tattvajnana you are doing? Means Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana with Manonasha, Vasana, Kshaya. Simultaneous practice in either of the cases, from the standpoint of Vividisha Sannyasa or Vidvat Sannyasa is recommended. But there is what is called as Pradhana Upasarjana Bhava. There is an order of certain practices are main, others are subordinate. If you say all these three abhyasas, Tattvajnana abhyasa, Manonasha abhyasa, Vasanaksha abhyasa appear to be the same, no, they can be distinguished based on the necessity. Now this is being, that means the Pradhana Upasarjana Bhava can be distinguished based on the necessity is being going to be elaborated at length. So for which first say Iti Mumukshu has got two results. One is Jivan Mukti while living, other is Videha Mukti. But in its nature, Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti are not totally distinct. Why? Jivan Mukti at its finest is nothing but Videha Mukti with only one difference. Here, because of Prarabdha, body is still there. Videha Mukti, the present body is not going to be there. Otherwise, Anubhava standpoint, Jivan Mukti, of course, Jivan Mukti has a different levels depending on the intensity of the absorption of the mind in one's own Swarupa. Sapta Bhumikas, etc. will be described in the later chapters. So therefore, so these are the two. So now, this being the case, says Tatra Jivataha So here in the context of Jivan Mukti or Videha Mukti also, Jivataha Purushasya, in the case of the person who is still alive, not one who has got Videha Mukti, one who is still alive, Daiva Sampada Moksha, by Daivi Sampat, Sampat we have seen as acquisitions or qualities. By divine acquisition, by divine qualities, moksha, freedom from chitta klesha, etc. Whereas by asura sampada, by demonic acquisitions or demonic qualities, there is bandha, chitta klesha rupa, bandha is there. So where this is found, this is described by Lord Krishna himself in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Etacca, this topic. What is that? By Daivi Sampat, moksha is gained. By Asuri Sampat, bandha is gained. This topic is Shodasha Adhyaye in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita by Bhagavata, by Lord Krishna himself. Abhitam, it is told. How is the stanza, 5th stanza? Daivi Sampat Vimokshaya Mata. Daivi Sampat, the divine acquisition, divine qualities. Mata, Mata means Abhipreta, are aimed at, designed for, or accepted to be for gaining moksha, mokshaya, for gaining. So the Daivi Sampat are designed for gaining moksha, Mata, Abhipreta, or aimed at gaining moksha, or accepted for gaining moksha. Whereas Asuri is Asuri Sampat. Asuri Sampat includes the Rakshasi Sampat also. So demonic in the Rakshasi Sampat, because in terms of cruelty, Rakshasa is one step ahead of Asura. That way, Asuri Sampat includes Rakshasi qualities also. Rakshasi Sampat. Nibandhaya Mata, it is aimed at what? Bondage only. Iti Lord Krishna. So, Lord Krishna has told in Bhagavad Gita, and further he has explained these Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat in detail in the very same chapter. Techa Sampadau, those two acquisitions, those two types of qualities, what are those? Daiva and Asura. Tatraiva, really there itself, where in 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Adhite are told, are described. What is told there? Now he this quotes Abhayam.
Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavastiti Dhanam Dhamasya Yajnasya Svadhyaya Sabhajavam
Abhayam. Abhayam is Abhiruta, fearlessness. Fearlessness in what? In cutting the throat of someone. Taking to thorough anusthana of what is told in Shastra without any doubts whatsoever. Taking to thorough anusthana. Anusthana is performance of what is told in Shastra without any doubts whatsoever. This is one way of looking at Abhayam. Relatively, at final level, Abhayam can mean by knowing Advaya Brahma and Mithyatva of Jagat, including the Mithyatva of Deha, no fear of anything like disease or death, because the Atma Swarupa is directly cognized. Mithyatva of Jagat, including the Deha, also is discovered, and therefore no fear whatsoever. Either way it can be taken, but better take relatively, because these are at the level of the sadhanas. Therefore relatively it is taking to the thorough anusthana of what is told in the Shastras without any doubts whatsoever. Sattva Samshuddhi. Here Sattva Samshuddhi means, no, Sattva also means Antakarna. Sattva Samshuddhi can mean Antakarna Shuddhi, but in this context it is not that just Antakarna Shuddhi, but here Shuddha Bhavena Vyavaharaha. Shuddha Bhavena Vyavahara means clean dealings without cheating, etc. anyone. So, Shuddha Bhavena, without means taking to the dealings with the world, people without cheating, etc. very cleanly. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti. Vyavasthiti is Nishtha, firm abidance. In what? Jnana. Jnana is knowledge of Atma, etc. through Shastra and Acharya. Jnana. Yoga, here is Indriyadi Upasamhara. Withdrawal of sense organs, organs of action and the mind from their corresponding functions. So yoga, vyavasthiti, that firm abidance in this jnana and yoga. Dhanam, charitable disposition. Dhamascha, mastery over the sense organs. Yajnaha, Shrauta, the taking to performance of Shrauta and Smarta, Yajna. Swadhyaya, study of one's own Shaka of Vedas or study of Adhyatma Shastra. Tapaha, Tapaha, here is certain ascetic practices at the level of Sharira, Vak, Manaha, told in Gita chapter 17, make a note, stanza 14 to 17. You can refer it afterwards. Tapaha, Shariradi Tapaha, told in Gita chapter 17, stanza 14 to 17. Arjavam. Arjavam is avakrutvam. Samabhavaha, straightforwardness, no manipulation, no hypocrisy, thinking something, talking the other and doing still something else. No. See? Manasi anyat, vachasyanyat, karmanyanyat duratmanam. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmanyekam mahatma. So that the arjava, the straightforwardness, so no hypocrisy or manipulation, that is what arjavam. Further, ahimsa, not injuring anyone, not hurting anyone, not only at physical level but also orally or mentally also, not thinking harm of anyone. Satyam, speaking the truth. Akrodhaha, appeasing the anger when incited by others. There is an occasion to be angry, at the same time the person is controlling himself. Akrodha, na krodha, in spite of there being a cause to get angry, not to allow oneself to get angry. Akrodha. Tyagaha, tyagenaike amrutatvam anushu. So all have to be given up. What tyaga can you do? What can be given up? Huh? What you want? See, what in fact it is a big topic by itself. Sarva Tyaga is a topic by itself. I will take some time. See, what can you give up? That which can be given up. See, whether you want to give up or not to give up, different thing. But what cannot be given up, you can't give up. Yes or no? Yes. What can be given up? Come on, now tell me what can be given up and what cannot be given up. Huh? Best thing first find out what cannot be given up. What cannot be given? Brahma. Atma, Brahma, Nitya, Atma, Brahma cannot be given. Other than Atma, Brahma, every blessed thing can be given up. That has to be actually given up. From avidya, ahankara onwards, up to any gross thing in the world can be given up. So there first find out what cannot be given up. Only Atma. I think this best thing is give up Atma. Otherwise it's a problem. Atma Jnana, you have to get Atma Jnana. This, why all this here? Best let us get rid of this. Try. Okay. So Tyaga. Here Tyaga can mean Nishkama Bhava, etc. Karma Yoga, all those things can come. Shantihi, Shama, mastery over the mind. Apaishunam, not finding fault with others. See, turn your eyes away from the fault of others. But as far as your faults are concerned, be very vigilant. One should be very vigilant about one's own fault. Other faults, it is none of your business. Like Swami Vivekananda said, on the path of sadhana, never see at the faltering steps of the other. If you go on seeing, one life will not be sufficient for that. So that mind your own business. So Shantihi, Apaishunam, not finding fault with others. Daya, compassion. Bhuteshu, Daya. So compassion for all living beings, not only human beings, all living creatures. Aloluktvam, not allowing the indriyas to get excited in the presence of Vishayas. See, when the desired sense objects are there, what happens? The indriyas are very eager to enjoy them, not allowing them. That is what is Indriyanam Vishaya Sannidhau Avikriya. Aloluktvam is Indriyanam Vishaya Sannidhau, in the presence of Vishayas, Indriyanam Avikriya. That is, Indriyas do not undergo any Vikriya, means they are at ease, they are composed, not run after they do not run after the Vishaya. Mardavam, Mrudubhavam means Akrauryam, not becoming cruel, not being cruel, giving up the cruelty. Achapalam, Achapalam is not taking to any vyapara, is any functioning of hands, legs, etc. without a due purpose. So some people have got habit now. Or something like monkey. Have you seen monkeys? they can't keep quiet. They will jump from branch to branch, and if they are not jumping in the branch, they will sit at once, go on shaking. They will go on shaking the branch, otherwise scratch something like that, something they will do. That is the asati prayojane. Achapalam means asati prayojane, when there is no any purpose to be served. Vak, pani, padadinam, speech, hands, legs, etc. means indriya. Avyapara niyantrutvam, so controlling them without any vyapara. Avyapara niyantrutvam. Avyaparena niyantritvam means not taking to any undue, that is, activities at this, including vak. Vak means all shop talks should be stopped. See, there is no purpose that can be served. It is habit. So that is what achapalam. Tejaha, he feeling ashamed to do those things which are prohibited by the Shastras. Feeling ashamed. Here, he means lajja. Lajja means not simply feeling shy, etc. Feeling shy about doing those things which are prohibited by the Shastra. And if this fellow does the things prohibited by the Shastra, do you know what is in store? Censure by those knowledgeable people. They will not keep quiet, they will take the fellow to task. So therefore feeling ashamed of doing such prohibited nishiddha things. Tejaha. Tejaha can mean confidence or maturity, boldness or resoluteness. Means firm in one's own decision, resoluteness. Kshama, forgiving anybody's mistakes. Kshama. Dhrutihi. Dhruti here is not allowing deha, indriya to sink even in the context, even when there is exhaustion or fatigue. The person is totally exhausted. There is fatigue. Even in such condition, not allowing the deha indriyas to sink, in other words, reviving or invigorating deha indriya even when one is exhausted or has got fatigue. Shaucham, cleanliness, bahya and antara shaucham. Not only external cleanliness, also in the antakarana also cleanliness is there. Adroha. Droha is desire to kill or take revenge. Maybe some cause is there in spite of that. Adroha is absence of desire to kill or take revenge. Na atimanita, no excessive pride or no conceit. No excessive pride or no conceit. Bharata, Arjuna, Daivim Sampadam Abhijatasya. Abhijatasya means one who deserves divine acquisitions or divine qualities or divine glories. Abhijatasya bhavanti. These happen to be there. These are there. These qualities are there in the person who deserves the divine glories. The Asuri Sampat described. Partha, Arjuna, these are Asuri Sampat, in whose case these are Asurim Sampadam Abhijatasya Bhavanti. In the case of a person who deserves what? Not the divine glories, the demonic values. What are those? Dambha. Dambha is exhibiting oneself to be a great religious person. In Sanskrit it is called Dharmadvajitvam. Dharmadvajitvam. Posing oneself to be a highly religious person. Taking to charity, this, that, etc. only to exhibit, but really is not so. Dambha. Darpaha. Darpa is garva or haughtiness on account of one's own wealth or swajana, retinue, clan, kula, servants, other properties, etc. So garva or haughtiness on account of dhana, swajana, kula, etc. Abhimanascha. Abhimana, otherwise called as atimana, that is over-exaggerated pride. Over-exaggerated pride. Abhimanascha. Krodhaha, anger. Parushyam evacha. Parushyam is using harsh language or taunting. Very bad, taunting others or using harsh language because it hurts the other people. So, parushyam evacha. Ajnanam, ignorance. Your ignorance, of course, all are ignorant, even Daivi Sampat wala bhi ignorant hai. So it can be taken as aviveka, lack of discrimination or ignorance also. Cha abhijatasya partha sampadam asuri. That is, partha, this is asurim sampadam abhijatasya. You have to add bhavanti because it continues, therefore bhavanti is not there, continuous. So he points out, this is only a sample of Asuri Sampat. Lord Krishna goes at length to describe the Asuri Sampat in this. Punarapi, see, actually it should be connected. Punarapyadhyaya parisamapti. Punahapi, further again, adhyaya that, adhyaya. A means what? Ang, paryantam. A also means ang, paryantam. Until the end of the chapter. Which chapter? 16th chapter. Parisamaptehi asura sampat prapanchita. Lord Krishna has described the Asuri Sampat. So then what is to be done? Acha. So Lord Krishna has told both Asuri Sampat and Daivi Sampat. Therefore acquire. No, not that way. Daivi Sampat to be acquired and by all means this to be given up. So this clarifies. So what is to be done now and what for? Tatra, among these two types of sampat, ashastriyayaha, there is asura sampadaha, sampadaha nave, not, asura sampadaha, sixth case. So, this asura sampat, what is that? It is ashastriyayaha, which is not in accordance with the Shastra, means which is prohibited by the Shastra. And also it is Swabhava Siddhayaha. You need not practice or put forth effort to have the Asuri Sampat. They are naturally there in everyone's bosom. So Swabhava Siddhaya, Swabhavit by one's own nature, natural. So naturally they are there. So and also they are by such vasana. Okay, what are those? Shastriya means by Daiva Sampada, by Daivi Sampat, by Daivi Sampat. And what is that Daivi Sampat? Shastriya in accordance with the prescription, recommendation of the Shastra. Purusha Prayatna Sadhyaya, which are accomplished by conscious efforts of the individual. See, now see the contrast. Asuri Sampati is Swabhava Siddha, whereas this is Purusha Prayatna Sadhya, accomplished only through conscious effort. See, to get drifted in the river, you need not put forth any effort. So you place yourself in the river, and if you place yourself in the Ganges without ticket, you will reach Hubli. So you will reach there, Ganga Sagar. So you will see. But if you want to swim against the current, what is required is, so not only in individual these demonic qualities Swabhava Siddha, in general in society also Asuri Sampad is quite natural. So therefore Purusha Prayatna, so the conscious efforts to overcome the Asuri Sampat and develop Daivi Sampat is indispensable, and thereby what happens? Shastriya Purusha Prayatna Sadhyaya Daiva Sampada Sadvasanaya, by the good vasanas. Kshaye Sati, when destroyed, what destroyed? Durvasanayaha Kshayat, earlier one. Durvasanayaha Kshaye Sati, when the bad vasanas are destroyed. Jivan Muktihi Bhavati. So what is accomplished is Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukti is accomplished. And the context should be understood. What is the context? Tattvajnana already gained, and he is now striving for the Jivan Mukti. In that context, when this is there. Otherwise, suppose he has not got done the Tattvajnana, etc. By means what to the extent he has put forth effort, some good result, punya, etc. will do come. Further, this was in accordance with the Gita Smriti. In Shruti also, Vasanakshaya and Manonasha as the causes of Jivan Mukti is described. Those quotations are now being given. Like Vasanakshaya means, just as Vasanakshaya is the Hetu. Hetu means the means, Upaya for gaining Jivan Mukti. So also Manonashasya api, even the destruction of the mind also is described as the means, Upaya for gaining Jivan Mukti. Where Shruyate, Shruyate should not be literally translated heard. Shruti says. Shruyate means is told by, so it is told by Shruti. So where it is told, what is told, let us see. These mantras are from Amrita Bindu Upanishad, also called as Brahma Bindu Upanishad. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Manushyanam, for the human beings, manaha eva bandha mokshayo karanam. Mind itself is the cause of both bondage and liberation. How is it possible? Only one thing can be the cause of both bondage and liberation. There is some difference. When it binds and when it releases, that let us see. That is explained. Vishayasaktam ad manaha. Vishayasaktam ad manaha. The mind which is attached to, engrossed in sense objects, bandhaya bhasmrutam. Smrutam is known to be the cause of bondage. Nirvishayam, further add manaha. Nirvishaya manaha, the mind which is not attached to vishayas, which is not engrossed in the sense object. Muktyai smrutam is known to be the means for mukti. Satya Sai Baba puts this way, Same thing is the cause of bondage and same thing is the cause of liberation. He says, lock, in a lock you put the key. Turn to left, what happens? Lock. Turn to right. Now key eva bandhaya mokshaya karanam. So this key only is the cause of both bondage and liberation. So turn the mind to the world of sense object, bound, withdraw from that. Withdraw means not straight away. That gives the disposition to gain the knowledge. Yataha, yasmat, because of this reason. What is that? Asya nirvishayasya manasaha muktihi ishyate. Ishyate means accepted, angikriyate. This is accepted. What is accepted? In the Shastra, a mind which is nirvishaya is capable of gaining moksha. How? A mind which is free from entanglements in the Vishaya is capable of gaining Atma Jnana, and thereby moksha is inevitable. So, muktihi ishyate, accepted. Ataha, what should be done? Therefore, what should be done? Mumukshuna, by a mumukshu. This is advice for who? A mumukshu, not for a lay person. So, what should be done by mumukshu? Manaha nityam nirvishayam karya. He should be very alert to see that mind is always freed from the entanglements in the Vishaya. It is nirvishaya, it is not preoccupied in the sense object. For who should do that? Mumukshu. So the Upanishad is very clear. A lay person will say, why should he do it? Because he has no value for moksha. खाने का नहीं, पीने का नहीं, तो जीना ही क्यों? So this is the modern message. खाने का नहीं, पीने का नहीं, तो जीना ही क्यों? So therefore, why should he live at all? Not that. For a mumukshu, a mature person, he should see that mind, it doesn't run after the Vishaya. It is freed from the hold of Vishaya. Further, so when such a mind, see, what is the context? Like Vasanakshaya, Manonasha also is Hetu, Upaya, the means for gaining Jivan Mukti. So first, nature of mind was described and how it should be, and finally how Manonasha can confer Jivan Mukti is being described. 8. Tavadeva Nirodhavyam. No, acha. Yes, acha. Nirasta Vishaya Sangam Sanniruddham Manaha. This mind, what type of mind it is? Number one, Nirasta Vishaya Sangam, the mind which has given up the Asakti. Asanga is Asakti, Preeti in Vishayas. That hankering for Vishayas, the love for Vishayas, the mind which has given up the love for Vishayas, Sanniruddham, and also the mind which is Sanniruddham, Samyak Niruddham, checked, controlled, of course by Ashtanga Yoga, so where the Antakarana Vrittis are no more there. Sanniruddham Manaha, that type of mind. Yada, when Hridi, here Hridi stands for Atmani Chaitanya. See, Hrit also means the essence of a thing, the real core of a thing. What is the real core of you? Chaitanya Swarupa, Atma. So, Hridi, otherwise Hrit also can mean Antakarana also it can mean. So here it is Atmani Chaitanya Yada Hridi Unmani Bhavam Yati, and that mind Yati gains what? Unmani Bhava. Unmani Bhava means a state of the mind wherein the mind is no more the mind. When the mind is the mind? When Antakarana Vrittis continuously flow. When they don't flow, mind is no mind, that is what is Manonasha. Earlier Manonasha was defined, this is what it is. Unmani Bhavam, that means it is Manonasha only. When the mind accomplishes Manonasha, how? By getting absorbed in the Hrit, that is Atma Swarupa. Unmani Bhavam, Tada, then Tat Param Padam ad Prapnoti. One accomplishes that highest pada, highest abode means Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa, is cognized directly. The question comes, how long this mind has to be Niruddha? Sanniruddham was told. How long it is to be taken to, that is now pointed out. Tavadeva nirodhavyam. The mind has to be controlled till then. And what is control? We know. Manonasha in terms of yoga, practice of yoga. Tavadeva nirodhavyam. How long? Till yavat add manaha, mind, hridi kshayam gatam, gets dissolved, absorbed, where in hridi the Atma Swarupa. This is what we have already seen as what? Beginning Akhandakara Vritti, Atmakara Vritti, Brahmakara Vritti, and finally what happens? That Vritti also gets dropped by practice, of course. So there they say Hridi Shayam Gatam means till it gets dissolved or absorbed in the Atma Swarupa. And this is it. Etad Jnanam. This is Atma Jnana. This is Brahma Jnana. Etad Jnanam cha Moksham cha. This is Moksha. This means, this itself means, what is Moksha? What has happened to the mind now? No longer, but where has it gone? Sleep also no longer. In sleep, mind has got dissolved, you know where? In its immediate cause, Ajnana. But here, Ajnana gone, it has got dissolved where? In the Atma Swarupa. What do you mean by Atma Swarupa? Dissolving Atma Swarupa? The mind has become exactly like the Atma replica. It's a replica of Atma, and that provision is there in the very constitution of the mind. So because of being made up of the tanmatras, the sattva guna of the two tanmatras, sattva guna, so therefore it is possible that way. So that is moksha. That is why it is said, what is moksha? Swaswarup nahi, Atmani avasthanam, Swatmani avasthanam, abidance in Atma Swarupa. Abidance of what? The mind. And thereby the mind becomes no more mind, the manonasha takes place. Etad jnanam cha moksham cha. So there, in the other alternative, dhyanam cha also is true. In the place of moksha, alternate reading is dhyanam cha. This is knowledge, this is meditation. Sheshaha, rest all things. Do you know what it is? In your book it is Granthasya Vistaraha. It is only elaboration of the Shastra. Here it is said Nyayasya Vistaraha. Only elaboration of argument. In the otherwise it is a verbiage, not dry talk only. All is only a dry talk. Further, the relevance of Vasanakshaya and Manonasha as Pradhana Sadhana for gaining Jivan Mukti is being established. So, why are you so particular about the practice of Vasanakshaya and Manonasha to gain Jivan Mukti? So therefore their relevance is being now pointed out. For which? So the very nature of bondage is being analyzed. So let us see. Bandhaha, the bondage is dvividhaha, twofold. It is of two types. What are those? Tivraha. Tivra is Tivraha bandhaha, intense bondage. Other one is Mruduhucha, mild bondage. The question comes now. What gives intense bondage? What gives mild bondage? Let us see.
साक्षात एवं देश हेतुत्वात् तीव्रः बन्धः द्वैतमात्र प्रतीतिषु स्वयं क्लेशरूपत्वात्
स्वयं अक्लेशरूपत्वात्
आत्मसम्पत् उत्पादकत्वात् च मृदुबन्धः.
See, it is like this. Swayam aklesha rupatva. Actually, that ma is full ma is there. No nether stroke. If you say swayam, akara is removed. You have to separately say. Otherwise you can say swayam aklesha rupatva. Swayam aklesha. In that a is already there as well. Swayam aklesha rupatva. Tatra. Among these two. Among those, what are those two? Daivi Sampat and Asuri Sampat. In that, among the two, you say, yes, correct. Among the Tivra Bandha and the Mrudu Bandha, Asura Sampat Sakcha. You are awake, I say, very good. Not sleeping, very good. Teacher can pass by, slip of the tongue. But you are awake, very good. Tatra, among these two, the bondage, that is the Mrudu Bandha and Tivra Bandha, Asura Sampat Sakshadeva Klesha Hetutva Tivra Bandha. So what gives Tivra Bandha? It says Asura Sampat. The demonic acquisitions or qualities is what? Tivra Bandha, they turn out to be very intense bondage. Why? Sakshadeva Klesha Hetutva. They are the causes of direct Klesha afflictions. Having taken to demonic qualities, you can't escape to be free from sorrow. It is bound to give affliction. Whereas, now other one is not Daivi Sampat. Daivi Sampat is meant for counteracting the Asuri Sampat. The other one is Dvaita Matra Pratitihi, mere cognition of the dualistic world. Can you always sit with the closed eyes? Perhaps you can see, you can close your eyes, but you can't plug your ears. So sound comes, isn't it? So therefore it means even if you don't want to be there, perception will take place. Dvaita Pratiti, cognition of the dualistic world is bound to take place. What is its nature? Is it binding? He says, not directly, but indirectly it binds. Dvaita Matra Pratitihi. Two is to show the contrast from the Asuri Sampat, which is the cause of Tivra Bandha. In contrast, that mere, that Matra means here Kevala in the sense without any purpose. You can't avoid the sense organ, the Indriyas to perceive the world. So that Matra means you have no specific desire, etc. behind it. So you go, your eyes are open, whatever that comes in front of you will be seen. Sound, whatever that is there will be heard. You don't want them as such. That Dvaita Matra Prati Swayam Aklesha Rupatva. Itself, it cannot give you klesha. Then, but Asura Sampadutpadakatvacha, it produces in due course. If you are not alert, it will produce Asuri Sampad. You heard something very melodious, then I should have it or something, but it is not possible to have it. Then think of some hook or crook. So that is slowly what happens, Asuri Sampat gets surfaced. So Aklesha Rupatat Asura Sampadutpatakatva, being the producer of Asuri Sampatya, it is Mrudu Bandhaha, the mild bondage. Why mild bondage? Immediate bondage is not there, but potentially is there if you are not a Viveki, if you are not alert enough. So we have seen now Tivra Bandha, Mrudu Bandha, which practice among Vasanakshaya and Manonasha helps to prevent which of the bondage? Let us see.
तत्र वासनाक्षयेण तीव्रबन्धः एव निवर्तते मनोनाशेन दूरद्वयम्.
So among these two bandhas, Vasanakshayena, by exhaustion of Vasana, Tivra Bandhaha eva nivartate. So what can be destroyed is the intense bondage can be destroyed by Vasanaksha, by mere Vasana. That Matrena means mere Vasanakshaya without the Manonasha. Whereas Manonatu means whereas Manonashena Ubhayam Nivartate. By Manonasha, distress the mind, both means mild and intense bondage is terminated. If that is the case, what will be your immediate reaction? Take only Manonasha. Why problem of Vasanakshaya? So that is the question, doubt. So you only to point out, see, both are necessary. For that he poses a doubt now. So one may say, fine, take Manonasha, and you don't forget about the Vasanaksha. Then answer given, oh, Vasanaksha is sufficient. Why you want Manonasha? Like that, necessity of both will be pointed out step by step.
तर्हि मनोनाशेन एव अलं वासनाक्षयः तु निरर्थकः इति चेत् न।
Tarhi, in that case, what is that in that case? If by Manonasha, Tivra and Mrudu Bandha is destroyed, in that case, Manonashena eva alam. By mere Manonasha is enough. We need not bother about the Vasanaksha. There is alam, and thereby Vasanakshayastu, exhaustion of Vasana to Nirarthakaha, redundant, useless, iti chet, na. You say so, it is not correct. Why? The reason is being now given.
भोगहेतुना प्रबलेन प्रारब्धेन व्युत्थापिते मनसि वासनाक्षयस्य तीव्रबन्धनिवारणार्थत्वात् भोगस्य मृदुबन्धेन अपि उपपद्येते। तामसवृत्तयस्ति तीव्रबन्धः सात्विकराजसवृत्तिद्वयं मृदुबन्धः।
प्रबलेन भोगहेतुना प्रारब्धेन मनसि व्युत्थापिते सति. The bhogas, our experience in our life, are programmed by whom? Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma. So now the Prarabdha karma is very powerful. Prabalena bhogahetuna prarabdhena. By a Prarabdha which is very powerful and is bound to give its bhoga, the experiences, sukha, dukkha, whatever it may be. So hetu means the cause. The cause of bhoga, which is very powerful, prarabdha karma, prarabdha. The prabala can be prarabdhena, prabala prarabdhena, that is very powerful prarabdha karma. So prarabdhena manasi vyuthapite ad sati. When the mind becomes active, on account of very strong prarabdha to give its corresponding bhoga. So do you know what happens? Vasanakshayasya tivra bandha nivaranarthatva. That intense bondage because of this powerful prarabdha, that is made blunt by who? Vasanakshaya. So Vasanakshaya reduces the intensity of Tivra Bandha, intense bondage on account of very powerful Prarabdha to give the bondage or sorrow. Then the question will come, is Prarabdha powerful or not? You can't escape Prarabdha without undergoing the bhoga. What Vasanakshaya can do? No. Prarabdha karma can be nullified even by mrudu bhoga, mrudu bandha. So intensity of tivra bandha is reduced by what? Vasanakshaya, and as a result that tivra bandha becomes mrudu bandha in terms of prarabdha bhoga, and prarabdha gets nullified. Like reducing the intensity of the disease. Disease is there, still there, not totally cured, but you are reducing the adverse effect of it. So that way. So therefore it says that bhogasya mrudu bandhena api upapattehi. prarabdha bhoga. Prabhogasya is prarabdha bhogasya. Prarabdha bhoga, experience of prarabdha karma, is upapattihi, is possible by mrudu bandha also, by mild bondage also. So therefore, this powerful prarabdha which was destined to give you intense bondage is reduced to mild bondage by what? Vasana kshaya, and therefore vasana kshaya is necessary for jivan mukti. This is